Hello students, welcome to Meso Study. So in the today's session, I will be discussing about 10 different questions from the chapter Human Reproduction. In this, I have compiled around 10 questions, some from 1 mark, some from 2 marks and some from 3 and the 5 marks question. So I will be talking about the how to attempt such type of questions. So let's start the today's session with question number 1. This question number 1 carries 1 mark, so we have to explain according to 1 marks. The question states, mention the function of a zona pellucida. Now, first of all, tell me where this zona pellucida is present. Zona pellucida is present outside the oocyte. And this zona pellucida, whenever sperms enter, whenever sperm tries to enter into egg, if one sperm has entered, characteristic changes within the zona pellucida will happen, due to which it will not allow further entry of sperm. That means the function of sperm is function of zona pellucida is to prevent entry of many sperms. Many sperm. Or can I write this as prevent polyspermy? Prevent polyspermy. Because what I want is only a diploid condition. I don't want any kind of triploid condition. I don't want any kind of tetraploid condition or pentaploid condition should be obtained. For that, we have a zona pellucida which keeps a check that that only a single sperm has to enter. Now, let's talk about a question number 2. So, for that, I need to prepare a board for you. By the time read the question, write the function of oxytocin. In the just previous session, we have discussed about a process of parturition. That means to expel out a baby. In that expulsion of baby, a hormone is required which is called as a oxytocin. So, oxytocin is that hormone which helps in the process of parturition. Do not get confused between the picturation and parturition. Expelling out of a urine is picturation, parturition is expel out of a baby. That is, it helps in parturition. Now, question from my side is that who secrete this hormone oxytocin? So, oxytocin is secreted by posterior pituitary. It is secreted by posterior pituitary. Now, who stimulate the release of this particular hormone? Basically, the fetal effector reflex. They stimulate the pituitary, and due to which the pituitary secrete oxytocin, and oxytocin causes the process of parturition, that is to expel out the baby. So, what do you mean by this fetal effector reflex? This is because of mild contraction. This is because of mild contraction of uterine muscles and placenta. Due to the mild contraction, the fetal effector reflex is created. This causes posterior pituitary to release oxytocin, and oxytocin causes the process of parturition. So, hope the process is clear to you. Now, this was also a 1 mark question. I have given you the every possible answer that you can give, right? So, next question is also a 1 mark question. Name the embryonic stage that gets implanted into the uterine wall of a human female. That means we are talking about a process of implantation. That means we are talking about a pregnancy. That means a fertilization has taken place. We have already discussed whenever the fertilization happens, first of all, there is a formation of zygote. After that, there is a formation of a 2-cell stage. Then there is a formation of a 4-cell stage. And later on, after 8 to 16 cell stage is formed, and that 8 to 16 cell stage is called as morula. And after that, there is a formation of a blastocyst. Blastocyst is that which is 64 cell stage. Blastocyst, and blastocyst is a 64 cell stage. In this we have two layers present. One is called as a trophoblast and second is inner cell mass. So these two, basically the walls, or you can say the blastocyst, are the one which get implanted into the uterine wall of a human female. So answer is blastocyst for question number 3. Now let's talk about question number 4. This is also a 1-mark question. What stimulates the pituitary to release the hormone which is responsible for parturition, and name the hormone. The same hormones here I have already discussed in question number 1 or 2, where the hormone which is responsible for the process of parturition, that hormone is called as oxytocin. And who secrete this? Posterior pituitary, right? And there is always a reflex for that. That means this is secreted in reflex of in effector reflex, that is a fetal effector reflex. Effector reflex. And this fetal effective reflex, this is due to a mild contraction of uterine muscles and placenta, due to which a reflex is created which causes a pituitary gland to secrete oxytocin, and basically posterior pituitary. Now we have to talk about that hormone. That hormone is oxytocin. In the first we have is a fetal effector reflex. Not only these, one another hormone is secreted, but that is not related to pituitary, but still I want to share with you because we are talking about the parturition. So in that one more hormone is there, and the name of that hormone is relaxin, and that relaxin causes a contraction, that causes relaxation of the connective tissue which is present near the pubic symphysis. So due to which there is a relaxation occur, due to which the opening of the pubic symphysis occur and easy delivery of baby occur, right? And you can say that we have to talk about only one hormone, that is oxytocin over here. So relaxin was just a add-on knowledge to you. You don't need to explain about the relaxin over here, because they have already mentioned about the pituitary. So this is a 2 marks question. Where does fertilization occurs in humans? Explain the events that occur in this process. So as we have already discussed, I am not going in detail because we have discussed in case of fertilization. So hope you remember those sessions. I will be just talking about that how fertilization happens. Here the question says that where this fertilization happens. We have already discussed that fertilization happens in fallopian tube. To be more precise, I can say that in the fallopian tube, the fertilization occur in ampullary isthmic region. Isthmic region. In that particular region, the fertilization happen. Now, we have to explain about the whole event that occurred during that process. So first of all, you have to explain each of the points step by step. Starting from the copulation, that is a coitus, due to which the sperms are released into the female vagina. When sperms are released into a female vagina, that sperm travel to the uterus and they travel towards the fallopian tube. When they travel towards the fallopian tube, there the fertilization happens. After that fertilization event, the zygote which is created, they again move down to the uterus. So when they again move down to the uterus, there is the place where implantation happens. So you have to explain about the each and every step, starting from the copulation or the coitus to the insemination process, that is a penis of a male, they releases the sperm along with the, that whole secretion that is called as a semen is released into the human female. In that case, again they travel unraveling is because of chemotaxis. Hope you remember session students. The chemotaxis, this allow the movement of sperm, and how sperm moves? Sperm moves because of the tail present, and that tail allow the movement, and with the help of chemotaxis they move. They also have an energy source, that means they have a mitochondria present in the middle piece. So, this was a question number 5th. So, how to attempt such questions? These questions, first of all, you have to write about the where this fertilization happens. Ampullary isthmic region of fallopian tube. Then you have to explain about the whole process. Write down each and every step one by one, starting from the entry to the end. Write down each and every step, right? So, in the point wise, you have to attempt the each of these questions. So, let's talk about the next question. Mention the number of cells of the following stages. Now, a very good question. These all are the questions from some previous year CBSE, and in that they have asked about they have given the certain stages, and we have to explain about the different cells. Now, first of all, they have asked about a zygote. Now, tell me one thing, how zygote is formed? Zygote is formed because of fertilization. And the fertilization is a process of a fusion, and the fusion occur between the haploid gametes. Fertilization, or you can say a fusion of haploid gametes. Here I have written gametes. So, we have two gametes. One is called as a female gamete and another is called as a male gamete. And these gametes are formed because of the process of meiosis, and that's why they have only n number of chromosomes. So, this is just an additional that I would like to discuss. So, we have to say that first of all, after the fusion, there is a formation of a zygote. So, the fusion is occur, a single cell stage will form, that is called as a zygote. Now, come back to this side. Here I have written a zygote and I have to write about a number of cells. In this case, the number of cells in the zygote is always 1 because it is formed by the fusion. And one more thing, this is always 2n. Right? Because fusion of haploid cells. Now, let's talk about a morula. Morula is that stage, a solid mass of ball. So, this is a solid mass of ball is there. And when we see actually they have a cells present. In that cells, they are having around 8 to 16 cells are present. And this 8 to 16 cells, they are called as a morula. Next we have is a blastocyst. Blastocyst is that where this implantation occur. This is the stage which leads to implantation. Right? And blastocyst, we can see that basically it is a 64 cell stage, and this 64 cell stage, they are having a very well defined layer that is called as a trophoblast, and second is called as ICM, that is called as inner cell mass. A very easy question, very direct question, but still I have given you each and every prospect in which they can be asked. So, let's come back to the next question, that is a question number 7. Again, this question is from parturition. This is a 3 marks question. How to attempt this question? Again, point wise. Wheresoever you have diagram, draw the diagram. In the parturition, you don't have as such diagram. So, describe the process of parturition. First of all, you have to define parturition. Parturition is a process of giving birth to a baby, and you have to explain about gestation period also. We have already done gestation period. Gestation period is that period for which the baby remains in mother's form, and for human being the whole period is of 9 months. So we have to explain about this process. So in the parturition, what happens is that first of all we will have to explain about a hormone which is called as a relaxin, and that relaxin is secreted by ovary, and this causes relaxation of connective tissue of pubic symphysis. Now you have to explain about this. Hope you can elaborate the things by yourself. Then you have to explain about a reflex that is called as a fetal effector reflex, that I have already explained. This causes a release of a hormone from posterior pituitary, and that is called as a oxytocin. What does oxytocin do? They help in contraction of uterine muscles. More contraction of uterine muscles, more and more of this oxytocin is released from the posterior pituitary, and this causes a birth of a baby. So this is a question number 7. Again, attempt the question like this in a stepwise manner, right? Now come back to the next question. So this is a question number 8. This is a 3-mark question. How is placenta formed in a human female? Very good question. You must have heard, even we have already studied the chorionic villi. So first of all, there is a formation of chorionic villi, and this chorionic villi, they are formed from trophoblast. This chorionic villi, along with wall of uterus or uterine wall of uterus, they combine together and they form placenta. Now you have to explain about the function of placenta as well. So what is the function of placenta? We have discussed about the 2 important functions. What is the function, students? Functions, first of all, they act as a endocrine gland. And second is that they help in supply of nutrients. And remove waste. Placenta act as an endocrine gland because they help in secretion of various hormones, and the name of that hormone is human placental lactogen. And second one is human chorionic gonadotropin. But how can we forget about 2 other hormones which are secreted by endocrine gland? Those are called as estrogen, and one more, how can we forget about progesterone? So you have to explain about all of these hormones, right? Now, as they help in supply of nutrient, along with this, whatever the nitrogenous waste which are secreted by the baby, that is also removed with the help of placenta, and also they remove carbon dioxide also. Right? So this you have to explain. Now the question part 2 states, name any 2 hormones which are secreted by it and also present in a non-pregnant woman. Come back to this point. Here we have discussed about the endocrine function of the placenta. The 4 hormones are secreted: HPL, HCG, estrogen and progesterone. This HPL and HCG and these hormones, basically these 2 hormones, these are hormones which are specific to placenta. Whereas this estrogen and progesterone is normally secreted in women's body. During the process of menstrual cycle, this progesterone is also secreted by corpus luteum, and estrogen is also secreted. And here the question states that in the non-pregnant woman, if the woman is pregnant, then all these 4 hormones will be secreted. If the woman is non-pregnant, in that case, these 2 hormones will also be secreted. But the source is not placenta. There is some different source. So, hope the question number 8, how to attempt this question is clear to you. Again and again I am telling you, attempt each and every question point wise. Now, this is a 5 marks question. This is a 5 marks question. In this questions, we have to explain the events of fertilization and implantation in an adult human female. So, in this case, how to attempt such question? First of all, you have to say about the process of copulation. So, first of all, what will happen? Copulation, or you can say the coitus. Coitus will happen. That leads to entry of sperm. Entry of sperm. Now, how this entry of sperm will occur and where this entry of sperm will occur? The sperm will start or sperm will enter from the penis, and when they will enter into the vagina of female, they will enter into the vagina of female. When they enter into a vagina of female, they will again move to the uterus. They will move towards the cervix and they will move towards the uterus. That sperm, the whole structure of sperm, we can say that they have acrosome present, they have nucleus present, 2 centrioles are present, and like this you have to explain each and everything. After that, they enter into the uterus. When they enter into the uterus, they move towards a fallopian tube. So, when they move towards the fallopian tube, there is a one special region present which is called as a ampullary isthmic region. Ampullary isthmic region is there, and this ampullary isthmic region is that region where fertilization happens. So, after that, the fertilization happens. After this fertilization, there is a formation of zygote. After that zygote, there is a formation of a 2-cell stage. After that, there is a formation of a 4-cell stage. And they will start moving towards a uterus, because what happens now? Now it has to implant themselves into the uterus. So we have is a 4-cell stage, after that we have is a 8-cell stage, after that we have is a 16 cells, now we have is a ultimate a 64-cell stage. Now this 64-cell stage, they will be called as a blastocyst. Now, blastocyst will implant themselves into a uterine wall, and basically which uterine wall? Endometrium. One question from my side. There are 3 layers present in the uterus. Name those layers. 3 layers are present, out of which the endometrium is the innermost layer. You have to explain about the rest too, right? So this is a question in this question sessions, because I have already explained in the sessions. So they will implant into the uterus. Now the cells of a uterine cavity, they will cover this blastocyst. Cells of uterine wall, they will cover blastocyst. They will cover blastocyst. Now there is a further development of the embryo. Due to now we have already studied how this development or embryo development happens. There are different stages of development. First of all, we know about there are two regions. One is called as a trophoblast, and second is called as a inner cell mass. This inner cell mass, they lead to formation of ectoderm and endoderm, and in between one more layer form which is called as a mesoderm. And some more cells or the stem cells, they are also formed. Here this helps in formation of chorionic villi which forms the placenta, and placenta is joined to embryo with the help of umbilical cord. Umbilical cord. So these all things you have to explain, each of every steps you have to explain in a stepwise manner. No need to write like this, otherwise you will not get any marks. This is just an introduction, this is just to tell you what things you have to write in this. I have tried to incorporate each and every in this 2.5 marks because it has two parts, 2.5 and 2.5, and like this you have to explain. Now come back to the second part. The second part states that we have to explain the process of spermatogenesis. Now tell me one thing where this spermatogenesis happens. Spermatogenesis happens in seminiferous tubule. Seminiferous tubules, right? And it starts with spermatogonium. Spermatogonium. And this spermatogonium, they divide by mitosis and they process, there is a formation of a primary spermatocyte. From that primary spermatocyte, they will enter into the meiosis, there is a formation of a secondary spermatocyte. Secondary spermatocyte. And this spermatocyte, again the same secondary spermatocyte is there. Now you have to explain. This is a whole process of spermatogenesis. The formation, after that the spermatids are formed. After that the sperms are formed. When the sperms are formed from the spermatids, that process is called as a spermiogenesis, but they have asked about the spermatogenesis. So you have to explain till the formation of spermatid. But one more additional knowledge that I would like to give you, that when the sperm formation occurs from the spermatid, this is called as a spermiogenesis. So don't get confused between the two important words, spermatogenesis and the spermiogenesis. Even there is also one more process which is called as a spermiation. These sperms which are formed, they remain attached to the Sertoli cells. So when they extract themselves from the Sertoli cells, this is called as a spermiation process. So we have talked about the three processes: spermatogenesis, second spermiogenesis, and the third one is spermiation. So these are the three processes are there. So you have to explain about this process of spermatogenesis, right? Now, hope that this is also clear to you. Let's talk about a last question, question number 10. Write the specific location and the function of the following cells in human males. We have to first of all explain about the Leydig cells. Leydig cells are present within the interstitial spaces. Interstitial space of seminiferous tubule. Seminiferous tubule. Right? This is a Leydig cells. And Leydig cells always work in response to luteinizing hormone. Next we have, and what is the function of this Leydig cells? The function of Leydig cells is to secrete hormone, androgen is secreted. Next we have is a Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells is secreted, or it is present near the wall of seminiferous tubule, and they secrete or they provide nutrients. Next we have is a primary spermatocyte, like I have discussed. Primary spermatocytes are those spermatocytes which are developed from spermatogonium. And this spermatogonium this spermatocyte, they help in formation of sperm. This is a function. Now question is that where it is present? It is also present in seminiferous tubules, right? Now explain the role of any two accessory glands in human male reproductive system. You must have heard of a prostate gland, and second, we have already discussed about the bulbourethral gland. Bulbourethral gland. Prostate gland is that gland which help in movement of sperm in female reproductive tract. In female reproductive tract movement, and also they also provide nutrient. So they work in female reproductive tract, that means they help in movement of sperm. In female reproductive tract, and also provide nutrients, right? Now the question is for bulbourethral gland. Bulbourethral gland, second name, Cowper's gland. Now this particular gland, or the Cowper's gland, or the bulbourethral gland, they help in lubrication of urinogenital tract. Right? So these are the certain questions. You have to explain about each and every question in detail, stepwise, clean writing, and wherever the diagram is there, you have to explain about the diagram. In the implantation, I haven't drawn the diagram, but in the sessions, when I was discussing the same, I have drawn the diagram. So you have to draw that diagram, and diagram should be neat and clean. Use pencil, don't draw a diagram with the help of pen, right? So hope that today's session is clear to you. We are done with the whole chapter, that is a human reproduction. We'll meet in the next session when we'll talk about a new chapter. So thank you so much, students, for watching this.